Hey guys, so today we're going to be looking at every single rumour for the 2024 set so far and doing a deep dive, including the news which came out today, which is very exciting, which actually got me to make this video. Now, elephant in the room, I haven't uploaded in 150 days. So yeah, there's a lot of questions here, and this is probably a surprise to a few of you, and hopefully a welcome one at that. In terms of updates for the channel, I will get to that at the end of the video to clear all this up, but right now I just want to focus on this video, and instead of just doing an update, since I haven't covered any of this stuff at all, I haven't even covered like most of the August reveals, yeah, I just want to get into and do a full rumour update for every single thing we know so far. This video will just cover everything that we know for the entire year, so of course basically this is from January to May based on the info we know. If there's any info on the summer, I'll touch on that, but really there isn't much. This is mainly for the first half of the year, with sets in January, March, and May. But we'll get into that and we'll explain this, as well as some sets which don't really have a release date, which could technically be summer sets. One release date order and then set number order in between that, and we're going to get into everything. So we'll start off with probably just getting some of the more boring stuff out of the way, with some of the stuff that isn't that interesting. So first up, it's worth mentioning, there is a new book coming out, the Visual Dictionary, the updated edition for the 25th anniversary, and the only thing really interesting is that there is an exclusive minifigure inside, which we don't know what it is. Now honestly, this could be anything, there's no real use in predicting what it could be, and honestly some things that we would have wanted are actually going to be coming in these sets, which I will get to, because there is some very exciting stuff. But yeah, this figure could literally be anything. I'm sure it's going to be good, otherwise this book comes out in April, I believe. Now we also have two set numbers for Brickhead sets coming out next year that are Star Wars related. The first one is 40675. This one is going to be $54.99, so likely a 5 or 6 pack, just like the Endor Brickheads 5 pack. And then the other set is 40676, which we don't know anything about. I'm guessing this could just be a 1 pack, or it could be literally anything. As for predictions, we can't really predict what the other one could be, but for the 5 or 6 pack, I'm going to go ahead and guess maybe a Bad Batch Brickheads pack that could include all 6 members and maybe a small one in Omega. I really don't know though, I don't really know if they'd make a Brickheads for the Bad Batch, but really I can't think of anything. It could be more of another Endor Brickheads 5 pack but with villains this time. I don't know, we'll really have to wait and see on these. As for release dates, I think the big pack is likely going to come out in May, and then for the other one it could really be anything, maybe even January. To get it out of the way now, set 40686 is going to be the May 4th promo for this year. We don't know anything about it, if it has a minifigure or anything. I know you can predict like anything, but really with these, like, I have no idea where they stand. They're not doing those diorama things anymore. Even with the minifigure thing, they only did that 1 year, and then last year they had the Death Star promo, so honestly this could be literally anything, and I have no idea. I hope it has a minifigure, but honestly no clue. Proper January set of sorts is set 30680. This is an AAT polybag with 75 pieces, probably retailing for just $5 coming out January 1st. I'm guessing that this is going to be a tan one because of the 25th anniversary of episode 1 rather than a Clone Wars one. Because of the polybag trend in the last few years, this could mean that we're getting a minifigure scale AAT, but I really don't know, because there is actually that second polybag coming out next year, 30685. No idea what this is, assuming it's going to be $5 again, and we don't know when this is coming out. I guess that this could be like a smaller version of any of the sets coming out, or this could be a figure. They don't really do 2 polybags a year until now, so this could be something different, so we'll really have to wait and see what this one is and when it comes out, because yeah, this is just a Star Wars polybag. Getting into the actual sets, and this one is a banger right out the door. I feel like this is the one most people are excited for. This is set 75372, the Clone Trooper vs. Battle Droid Battle Pack. The set is 215 pieces and retails for $30 USD, coming out January 1st. Now that $30 price point may seem weird, because if you know about price increases, that $30 price point has gone up to $35 now in the last few years. But after the holiday special, diorama actually was $30, and there's another set coming out soon, which I'll talk about soon, which is also listed as $30. It seems like that $30 price point is actually going to be coming back, which is pretty nice to see, except for the fact that all of these $30 sets have piece counts which are about worth maybe a $20 to $25 set. So we're going to have to wait and see on how this pans out. It seems like a weird little economic trick, but honestly I'm glad that this price point is back. This set shines is in its vast array of minifigures and builds, and what you see here is a mock-up by BrickWizard59. This is basically everything included in this set. So you can see there are minifigures. We have one Shock Trooper, which is going to be the same one that appeared in the Coruscant Guard gunship, 3 Phase 2 Grunts, which everyone's wanted for ages. We're going to also be getting 2 battle droids and 3 super battle droids, which is very, very exciting. Of course, we love to see those super battle droids I've wanted for so long. In terms of the build, we're going to be having a speeder bike which features 2 clone troopers on it, room for 2 at least. I'm guessing it's not going to be the sidecar here, and instead just 2 seats. There's also meant to be a kind of post there, I don't know, just a wall or something like in the Snowtrooper Battle Pack. Also a stat for the droids and an Octuptara droid. So very, very exciting stuff there. It's basically an Ultimate Clone Wars Battle Pack, which I think is really cool, and for $30 it definitely seems fair. I'm very excited for this one. Next up is set 75374. This is going to be the Skeleton Crew ship, with 1,325 pieces retailing for $140. Now this one is going to be based on Skeleton Crew, the upcoming show, and right now doesn't actually have a release date because the show doesn't. It was originally rumored for a January 1st release date, but the show kind of got pushed back. It was originally meant to come out at the end of this year, but that isn't the case anymore, so really we don't know when the set's going to come out. It could even come out in summer or even in fall. We'll have to wait and see, but this should come out kind of around when that show actually comes out. As for the build, I mean, this is our really only image of what it will look like from the back, and I'm guessing 5 minifigures of the 4 main kids and then Jude Law's character, though really we don't know who these characters are or what this ship is because the show isn't out and we don't even have a trailer. So yeah, we're gonna have to wait a while to get some more details on this set, but hopefully we don't need to wait too long on the show and the set. The next setup is a bit less exciting, set 75384, the Crimson Firehawk, with 136 pieces retailing for $53 US, weird price, and coming out January 1st. Now if you're worried about that piece count, no, this is going to be a 4+ set from Young Jedi Adventures. If you don't know any other ship, I mean, it looks like a 4+ set even though we haven't seen it yet, but there are meant to be 3 figures included, including Nubs, who everyone has wanted, as well as Nash Durango and RJ83. So, I don't know, pretty decent selection there for Young Jedi Adventures fans. I do kind of like the Tanu Jedi Temple. It's kind of just very niche and kind of cute in a way, so I'm sure that the set is going to be cool. Not for me to pick up though, but I'm sure that this will be a good set for 4-year-olds. Now those are all the sets for January, so we're going to be getting into March sets now, and I'm going to skip a few set numbers forwards, but I'm going to get back to some of the other sets. But there is something that I want to talk about with these which will affect the future sets. So the first set I do want to talk about is set 75379. This is the R2-D2, the buildable one, with 1,050 pieces retailing for $100 US coming out March 1st. Now this is basically just meant to be that UCS R2-D2 but like half the size and half the price. So I don't know how that's gonna work in a way and if it'll look as good. I'm sure it will look fine, but yeah, it's basically a 10+ set instead of 18+. And yeah, this is going to be including a movable head, a third leg, the periscope, and different tools. So it has the same functionality essentially as the UCS one, it's just smaller, so hopefully that turns out well. Now there was originally a rumor that this would come with a C-3PO in a way, but it doesn't seem like that's the case anymore. C-3PO could be another set, but I'm kind of doubting it. I think that was just a false rumor. Now the interesting thing here is coming with the minifigures. Now of course you get an information plaque, which comes with an R2-D2, and you'd think that that would be it, right? Well, there's a second minifigure in this set, and I want you to go ahead and take a guess. Now if you know the news then you'll know this, but it's Darth Malak. Those familiar with the video game Knights of the Old Republic will know this character, and also know that he doesn't make sense in a buildable R2-D2 set. So basically, next year is the 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars, and the way that they are celebrating this is putting these what I'll call chase minifigures in sets. They're these desirable characters that just don't fit into sets, and they're going to be putting them in random sets. This is like what they did for the 20th anniversary with those yellow skin tone nostalgia minifigures, except this time with actually desirable minifigures, and you'll see with the next set what we're getting. But Darth Malak is just like, that's the biggest surprise for LEGO Star Wars. That's not something I expected, and you'll be even more surprised by the figures coming out, because honestly, if Darth Malak's in here, there is no limit to what we could get. Speaking of that next set, set 75387 is going to be the Tantive 4 boarding diorama with 502 pieces, retailing for likely $55 US coming out March 1st. Now this was originally rumored to be an 18+ diorama, but instead it's going to be an 8+ set, And yeah, this is actually going to be very exciting, even without the chase minifigure, which I'll get to. So there are actually a lot of figures in the set. It includes Darth Vader, Captain Antilles, 2 Stormtroopers, and 2 Rebel Fleet Troopers. In terms of the build, it's meant to be 22 centimeters high, which is actually quite tall, and multiple copies can be attached together with levers, and then you can blast open the door, which will topple the characters. So that sounds pretty cool. This sounds like a very cool set on its own, but there is actually another minifigure in the set, a 7th one at that, which is ARC Trooper 5s, and you know me, my channel name is literally Brick Yoda 5555. I'm named half after Yoda and half after him. He would be my most desired minifigure, and we're actually getting him as one of these chase minifigures. Now, this is just something that I would never predict, but we're actually getting him, and that makes me very excited. Now, people are gonna be a bit wary because a lot of people don't like how LEGO does clone troopers. I've been fine with them. I'm fine with helmet holes, I'm fine with no capes. I'm just a bit worried on how they're going to do the helmet and whether or not it'll have the fin and they'll bring back that ARC Trooper mold. Otherwise it'll look a little weird, but we're going to have to wait and see. I just hope that they bring that back, or maybe even print on a Phase 1 helmet. I don't know, it's just going to look a bit weird unless they bring back that mold. Also note right now, it's rumored that Darth Malak will have a new mold for his neck attachment, so hopefully they can bring the mold back for 5s. Now, of course, those are only 2 chase figures in the sets, and those are the only ones we have rumored properly right now tied to a set. In terms of others, the name of Darth Revan has been thrown around quite a lot, so I think that one is all but very highly rumored. Now, we don't really know what set he could come in, because it says that these chase figures, they aren't just going to be in the March sets, they're going to be kind of thrown throughout the year, even in the summer set, so I can't wait for that. And honestly, there could be so many of these. We could have up to 10 or even over that. I don't know if there'll be that many, but we'll have to wait and see, but it's very exciting. It's like we're getting a Star Wars CMF in sets, which is so cool. Now, we don't really have rumors for any of these other sets which could include them. I will predict if they could have a chase minifigure, and honestly, like, for what they could be anything. I could do a predictions video, but considering that they put Malak and 5s in there, like, they can do any minifigure they want. I think some predictions for me, which I think are possible, I think Starkiller and Cal Kestis are like at the height of the list. I don't think they should just do video game characters though. I think Dr. Aphra would also be cool, and maybe we could get some more Legends characters like, say, Mara Jade. I don't know, there's really just an opportunity to throw in these minifigures which they can't put in sets, and have them where LEGO's made them, so I really hope that these turn out well. I also want to see if they, say, have like a 25th anniversary plaque to go with them. We'll have to wait and see, because this sounds very exciting. There are actually more March sets, and these are all of the Midi-scale sets, so there are 3 of them, and we're going to be getting into all of those. Starting off with set 75375, the Midi-scale Millennium Falcon. This set has 921 pieces, retailing for around $80 US, coming out March 1st. Now, in terms of those prices, they're bumped up around $5 or low $5, like all the time, so they're really inconsistent. The set is said to be 25 centimeters wide, and this is going to be definitely a lot bigger than that 2010 version. That one had 356 pieces, and this one has 921, so it's going to be a lot bigger. Of course, nowadays they use a lot of smaller parts, but still, like, this is going to look really good, and hopefully some really cool greebling details. In terms of what else is included in the set, we're said to actually be getting a stand and display plaque with this, which we didn't really get display plaques with like the previous Midi-scale set, so that's a nice inclusion. And these sets are also meant to be including a 25th anniversary of LEGO Star Wars bricks, so these details are consistent throughout those Midi-scale sets, which is very exciting. Now, in terms of chase minifigures, these sets do make sense to include them in. It doesn't seem like they're going to be including them in 18 plus sets though, which is kind of disappointing, but we'll get to one later which I think should include one. In terms of the rest of them though, like, I feel like they'd be rumored if there were chase figures included, but as for now, it seems like there are no minifigures in these sets. The next one is set 75376, the Midi-scale Tantive 4, with 654 pieces, retailing for around $70 US, again March 1st. This one, it contains all the same things with the stand, the display plaque, no minifigure, and that 25th anniversary brick as the Falcon. Now this one is said to be 30 centimeters long, 32 at that, so I mean, that's pretty decently sized. And this would go well with a Star Destroyer. It's kind of nice because every 10th anniversary, for example at the 10th anniversary and the 20th anniversary, they do a big Tantive 4 playset. But here, because it's kind of in the middle, they've done a smaller one, which I think actually works quite well. I'm sure the set will look very good though. Now the third one is what came out today, and this is set 75377, the Midi-scale Invisible Hand from Revenge of the Sith. Now this is the smallest one with 557 pieces, retailing for again that weird price of $53 US. Now this one is actually pretty cool, and it's quite small, and obviously people are going to be most excited about this one, but it actually seems really cool in the details as well. Again, of course, plaque, stand, 25th anniversary brick, no minifigures it seems, but there's a cool function with this one. So it seems to have a mini little hanger for the Jedi Starfighters, which is pretty cool. I don't know if it'll have mini Jedi Starfighters, we'll have to see. And the actual function of this is that the front and back half can actually separate, just like this Lego Ideas set actually. It's kind of exactly like it, which is very interesting, so maybe Lego does actually look at Star Wars entries for that. But yeah, like the set actually seems really cool, and for that cheap midi-scale price, I think that that is going to sell really well. Again, if there was a Chase minifigure, it would sell a lot better. It is also rumored to be 30 centimeters long. Now the next set is one that we weirdly don't know many details about. This is set 75378, Grogu's Escape. Now we don't actually know the piece count, but this is going to be $30 coming out May 1st. This is based on The Mandalorian Season 3 and is the Grogu Jedi Temple Escape flashback. So we can expect figures of Caloran Beck and Grogu, and likely 2 clone troopers. Now whether they're 501st blanks or shock troopers, it really doesn't matter. I'm guessing 501st or even shock troopers, but they're just going to be repeating them from the other set. They could include Naboo guards, but I kind of doubt that, so it's probably going to be 2 clones as well. In terms of the build, it's going to be that Bark Speeder and Sidecar, and maybe a little bit of a Jedi Temple build, although we'll have to wait and see on that one. Set is another May set. This is set 75380, the Pod Race diorama with 718 pieces, retailing for $80 coming out May 1st. Now, it's widely rumored that this is going to be micro scale, sadly. That makes sense though, and I think it still could look pretty cool with that sand color and then all the colored pod races. Now, I don't know how many they'll do, whether it'll be the startup with all of them or just like Anakin's and Sebulba's. We'll have to wait and see, but I think this could actually look pretty good for a diorama. Now, weirdly, this is the only rumored diorama. I am sure that we're getting more though, and we'll talk about that later with some of the unknown set numbers that we're getting sets for. Finally, I guess mainline release is set 75381, the buildable droidica. Now we don't know the piece count, but this is going to be around $65 coming out May 1st, and yeah, this is going to be really cool. I do hope that it rolls, that's my one wish. Again, it will still look cool if it doesn't, but I mean, how cool would that be if it's actually a rollable droidica that can fold up in a way? That would just be so cool, and honestly this is going to look really good either way. I don't know if it'll have a display plaque, we'll have to wait and see, and I don't know about minifigures. This was the set that I was talking about earlier that makes sense for a Chase minifigure, but because it's 18 plus, I just don't know if they're going to include them. We'll have to see if they really add into UCS sets. But yeah, I don't know if they're going to include Chase minifigure here. I think it's the perfect opportunity to, and I really hope that they do, but either way, this is going to be a pretty cool set. Final full set to talk about is set 75382, and this is going to be the May 4th UCS set. It's a UCS TIE Interceptor. Don't know the piece count, $240 again May 1st/4th. This is pretty cool, long overdue. It was our first UCS set along with the X-Wing, and we haven't gotten one since. And yeah, after its appearance in The Mandalorian Season 3, I think this is going to be pretty cool. In terms of figures, I think it's just going to be a TIE pilot and say a Stormtrooper. I don't think it's going to be anything interesting. People have wanted it to be Mandalorian Season 3 based with like a Mandalorian Moff Gideon, but I doubt it. I'm not expecting that at all. Well, it would be cool, I do doubt that. These next set numbers are skipped ones, so likely will be sets whether they're summer sets or not. Set 75373, 75383, 75385, and 75386. There are also 2 confirmed unknown sets, which are 75388 and 75389, but we have no details on these sets. So those are 6 sets that could be summer sets. I'm guessing 88 and 89 are coming out in the first half though. As for what they could be, I think we need more dioramas because we only have 1, and probably some more sets that would include these Chase minifigures, which is pretty cool. One will likely include Revan as well. In terms of other characters, of course, I might make another prediction video, but we'll have to wait and see. That brings me nicely into the channel discussion, because again, I haven't made a video in 150 days, this is my first one in a while, and honestly I've enjoyed my time off. I've kind of liked taking a break off YouTube, and honestly I thought that it might be forever, and it might be because I'm not coming back permanently. I might make another video soon, and I also want to do the custom advent calendar in December. That's something that I've been planning, and I really want to do that. But in terms of like long updates, yeah, I don't know if they're going to stick around. I did want to make this video though, and then maybe a few more. So yeah, I might be here in waves in a way, but I don't think I'm going to be coming back to the ways it used to, except for a while. I don't know, we'll see. We'll see how it goes, but this isn't a full-on fullback Brickyota. We're just gonna see. But enjoy this video while it lasts, and hopefully you'll hear from me with some more news soon. Maybe use some other sources first if you want the news really fast, but I am probably going to be talking about some of the news at least eventually. Now, see ya, because that is all for today. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please remember to like and subscribe. That'll be all, folks. Goodbye.